Hey headphone people, welcome back to the channel. I am MrAyrit, if you didn't know already, and mostly I do headphone reviews, and I just had a long run of doing a bunch of high-end reviews of gear that was lent to me. So it's been requested, and I thought it'd probably be a good idea just to give you kind of an update on just like where I'm at with my personal equipment. And I just thought I'd kind of show you just maybe like a little bit like behind the scenes, like what my office and desk setup looks like and what my bedroom listening setup looks like and my home theater setup looks like and all that stuff, just in case you were curious about any of those things. And hopefully it'll give you, maybe a little more frame of reference just about like, I don't know, who I am and what I like and kind of my process for doing things and thinking about things. So yeah, without further ado, I'll start showing you around. Okay, so this is my main desk setup here. And, I didn't really clean up or anything, so it's just kind of how it is when I'm working at it. I'll go over kind of some of the gear that's on here, including like what my, main headphone system is at this point in time, and then also kind of like my camera setup and things like that. So, first of all, we've got, I've settled on the Vioelectric V280 for now as my main amplifier. This was competing with the Soloist and won out, and that comparison will be coming out before too terribly long. I've just got a couple of other things on the desk here just that I'm kind of evaluating, going to, eventually sell, but review and sell. So SP200, I picked up super cheap, like $100, so I thought I'd give that a shot again. And then MT602 over here that I, again, purchased and kind of have on hand. So basically everything I've got on hand, except some Hi-Fi Man stuff, is all mine at this point in time. But yeah, Vioelectric V280 for the main amplifier. Down here below my desk, I've got my Socrus 2541 mounted. Again, I need to review this guy, but it displaced my Bifrost 2. Got my main headphones, are like the highest end headphones I own right now, HE1000 V2. And then Hi-Fi Man XS is loaned to me by Hi-Fi Man for review. I've got also the Sundara, the latest revision Sundara from Hi-Fi Man for review as well. Up here, working on the LSA HP2 review, 17.7X Go. I own, I like, probably keeping those ones. But again, that review will be coming out soon. And then just some kind of like various other stuff that's on my desk here, right? I've got, I'm a big fan of Heart Systems, so I've got like their connectors over here. And then I've got just like, this is just kind of a little, wire holder thing, like organizer. And I find that it's good to mount like my little Heart System there, so I have them at the ready. And I'll link most of this stuff that I can below with affiliate links. So if you want to check any of that stuff out, and then if you end up buying anything, it does help out the channel like a little bit. iFi X-Can has been my main portable, but it's going to be going on its way here soon. I actually just picked up another Mojo for a couple $100, and then I really am digging the Fiio UTSW5s, and I'll talk more about those later. So outside, also at my desk here, iLoud Micro monitors. They're pretty good. I don't use them all that much. Mac Mini M1 is my main computer. Just got a couple of monitors. They're nothing too terribly special up there. For kind of like recording stuff, I've got a Canon M50. I use the Sigma 16mm lens. That's my main lens. My above camera is a Canon M100 with the 22mm 2.0 lens. That's just like the nifty 50 lens that I like to use sometimes for like thumbnails and stuff and just like portraits and things like that. I've also got over here a couple other lenses that I don't use all that much, not for this type of work anyway. So I've got the just the kit lens from the M50, and then I've got the 28mm macro, which is I don't really use that for like production stuff, but I do like that lens, and I use it a lot like for taking pictures of plants and just fun things like that. Newer ring light. You can see how I set it up is I just bounce it off the wall, so I get a nice diffused light is my system, and then I got various other lighting around, like it's mostly just kind of like ambient light, like a little ring light. I've got these little guys. I'll link these below. I'm really loving these things. They're battery powered, and they're just nice little ambient fill lights, and you can see, I don't remember how to do it off the top of my head, but you can like, they're RGB and you have different white levels and things like that. They're just really, really nifty and handy. I've got another one over here that I just bounce off the wall for ambient light. And then I've just got a couple like smart bulb things just to provide a little bit of background light there, type of stuff. You've probably seen my kind of like headphones hanging back here. This isn't really like a wall of fame or anything like that. This is just like stuff that I have that I need to get out of my way, honestly. So I got quite a bit of stuff that I still need to review and things. So I've got 880, 600 ohms, excuse me, 990, 600 ohms, Deconi Blues. What's that? I don't remember what that thing is. It's cheap. I've had it forever. I can't remember. 1570s, 80E, Grado 80Es, 880, 250 ohms, my 560s, Tigers, my Nighthawks, my 5XX, just a super little cheap set of headphones that I got for free from somewhere. And then I just kind of like store all my, carrying cases and bags and some other photo equipment and stuff is what goes up there. Other stuff that I've got on hand. Let me think about it. I mean, you notice probably like all these quilts on the wall. You might be kind of curious about those. These are like, my grandma was a huge quilter, so like I kind of just love her quilts. They're really like abstract and just kind of fun and goofy, just the way my grandma was. And so I actually hung them up in here just because I like them. But for number two, they're like sound dampening materials, right? They double as that, so pretty cool. Got the crack up there. I'm selling that right now. I do love that thing, but it's also not super versatile because I seem to be more of a planar magnetic person, and it's not great for that. For the most part. And then what else do I have to say about the desk here? I don't know. Leather mouse pad I really like. I think it looks nice. Apple keyboard, Logitech MX mouse, which is pretty nice for editing. My favorite little pocket knife I'll link to here. Little kit, like little screwdriver tech kit thing that is just handy to have to pull apart stuff when you need to and things like that. Let's see what else here. I got a handful of like cheaper little amps and DACs and stuff right here that I need to review and compare, kind of. O-Stack, Sibasonic, Mica Origin G2, Aeon. I don't remember what this thing is, but it's like a DAC amp thing. So just like a few other things there. Wally, if you've been hanging around the channel at all, you've probably met him a few times. He's a good kitty, aren't you, buddy? Okay, I think that pretty well does the office area. So let's move on to my home theater setup. So if we step out here, I've got this is my home theater setup. I've got most of this stuff I kind of inherited with my house, honestly. So we got PS5. I've got my little Audio-Technica record player that I don't really use, but eventually I'll do some stuff with that. Denon receiver that came with the house. Big sub that came with the house. All the speakers in here. It's got a 7.1 system. This all came with our house when we bought it. So it's all Polk speakers there. And then if we look, there's some there, and then there's some way in the back there. And then my TV is it's a 75-inch, but it's just a Walmart, on TV. So it's nothing too fancy, but I actually really like it. Like it doesn't, it's works great for me, honestly. Nintendo Switch with the dock and stuff, and this is my new phono, right? Fozzy Audio phono. It's pretty cheap, but I wanted to try something a little bit nicer. Got my Recon 500s just for my closed-back gaming thing, you know. That's about it, I'd say, for my main home theater setup down here. I will take you upstairs, though, and show you what we've got upstairs, and then I'll show you kind of my bedside setup. Oh, here, I wasn't going to show you this, but I probably should. This will just also give you some insight into what it's like to review headphones here. So, yeah, not cleaned up at all. This is my back storage room, and, like, pretty much all the boxes you see here, right? Like, this is all, like, headphone-related stuff. So I save everything. I don't ever throw any of my packaging away, which is probably a sickness in some regards. But you can see, like, oh, bubble wrap. You can see I've got, like, I keep all that stuff. So if you're thinking about being a reviewer, you know, I would recommend it. It's fun, but you probably need to have a dedicated storage space to keep all the boxes if you really want to hit it hard. Just FYI. Okay, so got for just our kind of living room TV and stuff, we've just got another cheap TV. We use a Fire TV Cube, and then this is the Amazon soundbar. Just fits like in there really well. It's just a little soundbar somebody sent to me to review. If you haven't yet met, this is my pup, Lucy. We call her Luce the Goose, or Goosey. She's a Australian Shepherd Poodle mix, so a Aussie Doodle. She's just a little sweetie. And then, yeah, I'll show you my bedroom and what my setup is like in there. My lovely wife over here. So here's my, here's the bedroom. And this is my setup that I've got going on in here right now. So this is not like set by any means, but this is just kind of like when I'm rotating through kind of lower amp DAC stuff. This is where I usually test it, and I usually keep my main stuff, you know, downstairs at my desk. But things that I'm working on right now, I've got a Modi multi-bit with a Valley 2 hooked up. That's my little Raspberry Pi streamer that I made. Probably do a video about that at some point in time. Drop Pandas, need to do a review of them yet. My Alex with the Kone fenestrated pads on there. And then these bad boys are kind of my new portable solution, which are, which are the Fiio UTSW5s, and I use them. I've been using them with the Alex and, you know, the Hi-Fi Man stuff. Even my even my HE1000 V2, I'm using that with a little bit as well with these little adapters, right? And I definitely stole this idea from Zeos, but, you know, it was a good idea, and it works, actually. So all that review coming at some point. Outside of that, right, Kindle. I'm a big sci-fi fantasy reader. Got, just got this little nifty thing. So I just got an Apple Watch, like, and I'm kind of getting into using that. And then I just got this little stand that does, like, it wireless charges everything. So we got my Sony XM4 buds that I use a lot. My Apple Watch, and then I can drop my iPhone mini 12 on there, and it charges everything. That works really good. I'll link that down below because that's a nice little piece of kit. And yeah, I think that's probably just about does it, honestly, as far as like where I'm at currently. So I tell you what, I'll meet you down in the office and I'll send you off with a couple of thoughts. Oh, one last thing I thought I'd share too is I will link to, I don't think this headphone stand is available anymore, but I'll link to this one, and these are my favorite stands just because I like the little curve setup. They definitely work great for like focals. Like they fit that perfectly, and they're sturdy and just, yeah, I don't know. They're the best stands that I've found so far that I really like. Okay, so I mean, that's pretty much my like tour of like what I've got right now and what I use on a daily basis. So I think, outside of sitting at my desk using like my really expensive gear, you can see that like a lot of my stuff is really about kind of like cost effectiveness and practicality in a lot of cases, which is why, I'm just loving those Fiio UTSW5s, because I can turn like my Alex into like a legit Bluetooth headphone, which is awesome for just like walking around the house, and doing chores and things like that. Like I can still listen to good music. So while I appreciate higher end gear, really my heart is still kind of in the like what's cost effective and what, is practical to use. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't know, I don't know what I'm going to keep long term. The Alex, I think, are going to be in it for pretty much the long haul, just because I bought those so cheap and they work well with those UTWS5s. Like that's kind of just a really good, I feel like that's about the highest value setup that I've got, honestly. And yeah, the HE1000, I love that headphone, and I really feel like for what it does, it's pretty high value as well. Like I said, I think it stacks up admirably against that really high-end stuff that I've been testing lately. So I'd let you know here like a few of the things that I'm reviewing and working on. So all that stuff you can kind of expect to be coming over the next month or so. And I don't know. We'll kind of see where it goes from there. Oh, I forgot to show you one thing, and this is important because I think I might start reviewing these this month. So over here, you probably won't be able to see this super well, but I have like my IEM drawer. Now, I'm not a huge IEM person, but I bought like a couple of packages and things like that of just like stuff that is kind of highly recommended, or I seem to be, fairly well recommended. And so what I'm thinking I might do here, is do like a March IEM Madness thing where I do some sort of like a bracket where I do like head to heads with these, because that's like I've just got so many of them that I think that's probably the best way that I can motivate myself to actually sit down and listen to all of them. So I don't know, chime in, let me know if you think that's a good idea, and maybe I'll start working on that since I'm slowing down on kind of stuff that people have loaned me. And that's kind of like, that's one of the lessons here that I'd just like to, maybe share that I've learned here, because I had, some of the best, like a handful of the best headphones in the world were loaned to me, but I only really got to spend either like 2 or 3 weeks with them, which was awesome. Like I loved it. And that was, one of my goals when I started this channel was like, I want to be able to listen to some of the best headphones in the world. And I feel like I'm kind of meeting that goal. I mean, certainly there's still some stuff on my list, but as I sink back into and slow down and have some time to kind of process and think a little bit, really I want to get back to doing just kind of things that I own and am buying and selling, because there's just less pressure for me to, I don't know, evaluate quickly, and I can really spend my time with things. Because usually I like to listen to things over the course of several months, honestly, like, so I can pick it up, listen to it, I can put it back down, I can come back to it later. That's kind of the way that I like to do things, really. I mean, but I'm not complaining, right? Like, I'll take what I can get when people are going to send me high dollar stuff, but I just don't, it's not as fun for me to operate that way. And I am a full-time teacher, which makes it a little more difficult to crank things out like I did. Like these past few weeks have been pretty intense, just because I felt like I had to really get through and try to give an appropriate amount of attention to all that high-end gear. So I'm looking forward to slowing down a little bit. And I'm still going to be trying to release, 2 to 3 videos a week, but hopefully just for me, my listening pace can slow down a little bit. Now, I certainly have enough stuff to get me through the rest of the school year and into the summer, at which point, I'll have some more time that I can dedicate to this and really keep things going. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight to who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm into and all that. Thank you, as always, for your support and for watching. I really do appreciate it. I sincerely thank you for your engagement in the channel and all the kind words that people have been leaving recently. I really do appreciate that, and I hope you stick around and stay with me on this journey as we get through some more audio gear. So thanks again. I appreciate it, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.